watch this one. I was curious about this one. So I want to see it. It's a little longer than I normally do, but the hell of it. We are going... I want to check this out. This is Big Boss. So I love Big Boss's stuff. I think Big Boss presents events. Like, a lot of the stuff is like historical events, but he presents it in a way that's very entertaining. And I saw this and I wanted to check it out. I haven't seen one. He hasn't done much stuff in a while. So I definitely want to see this. This one is... So it says it's the most hated politician in America. My guess is this is not going to be political. It's probably for wholly different reasons. So chat, I'm not violating my rule. I'm not doing politics. It's just, I think this is just a politician. He happens to be a politician, and I doubt it has anything to do with politics. Because my guess is Big Boss is, he doesn't dig into politics. So I'm guessing why he is hated is probably because of personal reasons, not political reasons. That's my guess. If it gets to... Okay, you've seen it, Gengar. It's funny, it's not overly political. Perfect. Good. This should be good.
The year is 2022, and a man by the name of George Anthony DeVolder Santos is running for Congress in New York's
it is
3rd
George Santos,
Congressional
okay.
District. That's this area of Long Island, here. Close to 1 million constituents, and a very wealthy area. This being where the Great Gatsby was set, this area is not unimportant. In fact, this race could actually come to define the razor-thin margins that decides who will hold the House majority until 2024. Enter political newcomer George Santos. He'd rocked up to the political scene in Long Island a couple of years prior, running as a House...
Okay. The fact that they put his head on the Vince McMahon body, that feels like it's kind of fitting. His head on Vince McMahon walking out like the fucking Gumby. Cause face it, when Vince McMahon comes strutting out, he looks like fucking Gumby. Yeah.
Running as a House Republican in 2020. He'd lost, but this area had historically leaned heavily Democrat, and he was up against a political heavyweight at the time, a man called Tom Suozzi. But the year was now 2022, and this time, your man Tom Suozzi wasn't running, meaning no current incumbent, and that the seat was fair game. Now about Santos. He's chic. Burberry scarves, Ferragamo shoes, Ray-Ban shades, and his staple sweater under the blazer look. Santos looks good. His education? Only the finest. He went to Horace Mann, a $60,000 a year private high school, before being scouted on a volleyball scholarship to Baruch College, even more prestigious. Here, he was a star volleyball player, winning championships against Yale and Harvard, before graduating from New York University with a business degree in 2013.
And yeah, Incognito Alex, yeah. Vince McMahon is an absolute giant piece of shit. How anybody still works for him, I do not know. He did kind of like he got forced out of his leadership position in WWE, but I think he managed to find himself back in. Find a way back in. He is one of the biggest assholes in the industry, in the entertainment industry. Oh, he got kicked out for good now? Okay, well that's good. Okay, I see.
13. Straight after college, he's airdropped directly onto Wall Street, where he starts working for Goldman Sachs and Citigroup immediately. And just last year, Santos was managing a $1.5 billion fund at a company called Harbor City Capital. Not bad. He'd also founded and run the non-profit pet charity Friends of Pets United, where he'd go on to single-handedly save over 2,000 dogs. He also has a connection to his constituents rarely seen in politics.
Okay. We've seen this kind of shit before. He's getting built up way too much. He's like, this is how I felt when we were watching that one Fat Electrician video about the guy who was like perfect. the Brit who thought he was the Englishman who thought he was a Scotsman, where he's built up like so much. He's getting built up so fucking much right now that I'm waiting for the House of Cards to come falling down.
The basement of Jackson Heights, Queens, to Gatsbyland.
Wait, hang on.
From the basement of Jackson Heights, Queens, to Gatsbyland. Santos was a true New Yorker. He's half black, half white, and...
What? What? Really? How are you biracial? There are 3 races. What? Are you fucking kidding me? Did this person... Okay. This fucking comment is stupid. I'm honestly surprised he didn't call this out. Because, yeah, he's Republican, but we know there are more than 3 ethnicities. Yeah. Exactly, Beef. What the fuck? And then what do you say? MLK did not die for us to go back to segregation. As a biracial person, I stand tall against segregation of mankind. The so-called black anthem is the worst device I've seen ever think. Okay. What? Wait. I'm already seeing. Did he create... Is this a bot account that he created? Or is this like an account he created specifically to pull shit like this? If that's true... Yeah, Peef, Latinos, East Indian, Afghanistan, you're Afghani, Iranian, Israel, like all of the Middle Eastern countries, Italian, Greek, like Native Americans, yeah, freaking Africans, like black is just skin color. There's African American, there's African, I mean, holy shit. This comment alone is just like fucking with my head with how incredibly stupid it is. And the fact that he didn't like call it out either. Even as a Republican, I would have expected him to call that out.
White and Jewish.
I come from a Jewish family.
Wait, what?
He's half black, half white, and Jewish.
I come from a Jewish family. My mother's family is Jewish.
In fact, his grandparents actually survived the Holocaust.
Because my grandparents survived the Holocaust.
His mum was even in the South Tower during 9/11.
What? What? No, peace, no. Jewish is a religion, not a... In the case of George Santos, Jewish is a religion, not a race. Revan, it is both. It is both. For someone who is Israeli born, Jew is Jewish or Israeli. I mean, typically speaking, if you're Israeli born, you are considered Israeli. Jewish is primarily viewed upon as like the religion, primarily. But God knows the Israeli people have been referred to as Jewish, referring to their ethnicity. So it's a bit of a quagmire there. But effectively speaking, it could be considered both. Yeah. Exactly, Pete. Exactly. But look at this. His mother was in the towers on September 11th, and she survived. But passed away a few years later when she lost her battle with cancer. Like, holy crap. This guy is checkmarking all the fucking boxes. And he's suspicious. Very suspicious. Yeah, well, Pete, haha. It's very suspicious.
So when, in 2020, the resume of this man lands on Joe Cairo, the Republican Party chairman's desk in Nassau County, which the 3rd Congressional District covered about half of, he didn't think twice. Santos was the man for the job. And after another long, arduous campaign effort, the 3rd District's 2022 congressional race is almost over. And on the crisp Wednesday morning of November the 9th, the votes are being counted and projections slowly materialize. And it was clear. Santos had won. He'd got over 140,000 votes. That was over 20,000 more than his opponent.
Yikes.
Who concedes within hours of the count. Our boy was in. He doesn't make it a few weeks.
How is this going to go? Horribly wrong. I mean, we're already seeing the signs here. Deserves a special election. Cross out ethics, follow the money. He's a national security risk. Investigation into lies. Fuck, this is gonna get good.
Before the troubles start. But first, come.
Time.
We're going to Chernobyl. StarCraft X is a huge open-world FPS MMO set in the bright and bubbly Chernobyl exclusion zone. Explore the map, capture outposts for your factions, scavenge for loot, or just call up the boys and go in against mutants, anomalies, and other players in this massive open world. And it's free to play. They've also just dropped a pretty hefty update.
This is an interesting
game. Jump into the epic northern storyline. Here you'll experience the harsh conditions of the northern regions, where the current 4 factions face another threat. 10 new locations have been slapped on the map, a ton of new animations, a new loot spawning system. This allows you to replenish your supplies in various places around the map. And is that parkour? A huge update to the graphics engine, new lighting and shadow systems, weather systems, and fresh textures mean things now look a lot better. NPCs have also had an upgrade. They're now a lot better in combat and can hide behind covers and jump off objects.
There are 2 types of politician, the one that lies their way to the top, or the one that lies their way to the top.
Right, Cat. You're not wrong. Sure, Eki, hit me. We're in ad time on this anyway,
and
so
finally,
go for it.
Have a beer and kick back in that nice new shelter of yours, where you can craft ammo and medkits. Not a fan of the way it looks? Well, pick up a hammer and get to work, because it's customizable.
All of this just works.
Haven't played Stall?
Okay, that soundbite is not a great endorsement for this game. I would not be using God Howard's voice bite from soundbite from Fallout 76 to advertise your game. Sorry, I just wouldn't.
Craft before, or returning after a long time offline? Fantastic. Just punch in this code and get a huge bonus pack. On the 19th of December 2022, the New York Times publishes an article. It's about George Santos, and it's...
Who is Republican-elect George Santos? His resume may have been largely fiction. Thank you, Eki. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Eki. No, Potato, that's a different. That's a different individual, I think. Yeah, the Santos, not Santa. They do sound similar, so I can understand the confusion. See, Mr. Santos, a Republican from New York, says he's the embodiment of American dream, but he seems to have misrepresented a number of highlights.
Interesting. See, as is natural, Santos had said a lot of things on the campaign trail. However, take a closer look, and some things didn't exactly add up. First off, his education. Horace Mann, Baruch College, and NYU. But when asked to confirm whether he'd actually been there, Horace Mann conducted a search. They scoured through decades of their records for one George Santos. However, nothing. The same for Baruch College.
What?
And the same for NYU too.
I've never met this man in my life.
George Santos was nowhere to be found. The same for Citigroup and Goldman Sachs. They too had never heard of the man. And that $1.5 billion fund he managed, well, he did work for a company called Harbor City, but turns out they never had more than $17 million, and they're currently being sued by the SEC for being an actual Ponzi scheme.
Oh, fuck. This is getting... Every moment, it's getting worse and worse and worse. Lied about his education. Lied about his work history. The company he did work for is getting sued for a Ponzi scheme. How much of that is he involved in? I wonder. This is glorious to behold, I must say.
Despite his claims, it seems he actually attended a public middle school in Queens and never graduated high school. Also, when he said
he's a high school dropout. Motherfucker is a high school dropout. I can imagine, Kanito. I mean, Revan, because number one, call yourself a high school dropout in the voters' eyes kind of instantly makes you not a great choice as a senator. But if he'd said like he attended a public high school, that would actually probably endear him. That's the thing. If he said I attended a public high school, that would endear him more to potential constituents because he is one of them. He's not hoity-toity. By showcasing that he had a silver spoon, honestly, I'm surprised it was not a detriment to him because they would just view him as in the same vein as the other party, which are they say they're all the elites. By acting like he had a silver spoon and had all, went to this wealthy schools and was rich and everything, I'm honestly surprised they didn't look at him and go, he's just another fucking elite. And yeah, he does kind of look like Tobey Maguire. Fair point. He was running in that upscale district, which is known for silver spoons. So, fair point to you there. I guess, yeah, he wasn't probably catering to the blue-collar type. Yeah, but now, what I was also going to say is, him being a high school dropout is... that's 11? Okay, that's okay, I'm still talking. Him being a high school dropout actually kind of would endear him to some people because he's smart enough to run a campaign, to be able to speak, presumably, I've never heard him speak about any of these, but presumably he's smart enough to speak intellectually on the issues at hand. So, again, being a high school dropout, while it could present legal challenges as for becoming a senator, I cannot recall if there is a requirement for you to have at least a high school education in order to be able to run as a senator. I know there are certain requirements, such as, where you live, but I can't remember if there's an education requirement to be able to run senator. There may not be. I don't know. But the fact that he was smart enough as a high school dropout to be able to run a campaign, to speak intellectually on the issues, that would actually be an impressive driver for people to go to the voting booth that were not born with silver spoon, that were blue collar workers. They'd be like, okay, the guy's a high school dropout just like me, he went to a public school just like me, but he's speaking very intellectually on the issues, and so yeah, I'd vote for this guy. Like, he could have rode on that train all the fucking way. He could have been riding on that train, and it could have worked. Now, granted, I'm guessing he chose to make up these lies because of the area he was in. U.S. citizen for at least 9 years residency, be a resident state representative, be at least 3 years. Okay. Yeah, it's Incognito, it's been a long time since I looked at my, it's been a while since I took,
His fake
government.
resume sounds too overhyped, like some bullshit from a bad, typical Hallmark movie or something.
Honestly, typical Hallmark movie is being too generous. Flat out, you're being too generous calling it a typical Hallmark movie. This feels like his fake resume sounds like bad fan fiction. It does. It sounds like something E.L. James would have written. Realistically speaking. Except she would have made him actually, like, dark and dashingly handsome instead of looking like a fat Tobey Maguire. Well, Tanita, I mean, you're gonna run for POTUS, really? Yeah. Yeah, people think that POTUS could do a lot. POTUS actually can't do as much as anybody thinks. That's the thing. All the power rests in Congress, not the president. Yeah. 11, are you back from the ads? Have they completed, I hope? Yeah, I'm guessing they finished by now. Yeah, it's in that large part of it, KO, yeah. A large part. Okay, Rotax, have a good night. Have a great night. 11 did. Oh, really, Canito? Well, but not federally. And if anything's federal, it's POTUS.
He said he was working on Wall Street fresh out of college. He was actually working over in the industrial part of Queens, in a call center for $12 an hour.
Wait.
Also, when he said he was working on Wall Street fresh out of college, he was actually working over in the industrial part of Queens, in a call center for $12 an hour.
Hey. Oh. Thank you, Sniper Bay. Thank you for the tier 1. Gifted. Thank you so much. And so he was, well, I'm not gonna, if you're expecting me to bet, okay. Was he a telemarketer, or that's what he was doing? So he was an outbound telemarketer. I hate that. I hate those. And I'm gonna tell you something. Pete, Pete, that's chaotic 11. Thank you, Revan. Yeah, and Pete, it's chaotic 11. Thank you, Jameson. Yeah, like when I was looking for Pete, owie. When I was looking for work, I looked into call center jobs. And I put an application in for tech support call center job. And when I got the call for I did a telephone interview. When I got the call for it, you know what I was told? Oh, we don't even have that in our facility. But what we do have is outbound telemarketing. And I went, no. I said, no, thank you. I'm not doing that fucking job because I fucking hate the people that call me cold and say, do you want to buy this? I fucking hate that job. I hate people that do that. And I would hate myself if I did that job. And I said, nope. The fact that they lied and put out on the help wanted, they put out this job, and then when I actually do the interview, they said, oh, we don't even have someone here. We don't even do that here. So they lied. The call center lied. Why would I work for a company that lies just to try and get people in there? I don't.
Some details of his time here come out. Allegedly, from the first day at this call center, Santos would brag about the wealthy family he came from back in Brazil, the expensive property he'd amassed in places like Nantucket, and his Belgian and Jewish parents. Turns out, Both of his parents were actually Brazilian, and despite his family's lavish property holdings, they were actually on welfare at the time and had recently been getting eviction notices.
Wow. Oh my. No, Revan, I didn't report them because there would be no point. There would be 0 point to reporting them. So I didn't even bother. I just basically put them on a mental checklist of do not ever apply to them ever again. Well, yeah, at best, Revan. At best. He actually kind of reminds me of a guy I used to work with at my last job, who, he reminds me very much of this guy. He didn't boast that he was rich or something, but he tried to build himself up like he was like this super genius, like claiming that he was creating an app on a phone. Like he was claiming he created a phone app that could basically function like magic. I can't remember exactly what his claim was for the app that he claims to have created, but as soon as like someone told me, one of my coworkers told me, like, yeah, he's claiming he made an app that does this, and I just went, that's not possible. That's not how phones work. And basically claiming he created a magic app, which, number one, an app can't do what he was claiming to do. I think it might have been Bitcoin mining. Maybe I can't remember what it was. But number one, it was something an app could not do. But number two, if he created this app that was so magical, how is he not a fucking millionaire and working in retail? So like this guy would lie his ass off, claiming to be some kind of a computer genius, when he was coming to me for some of the most, and me being like I was the most knowledgeable person in my department with computers. That's why I was the computer technician. But he was coming to me with some of the most basic shit when he's supposedly some kind of computer genius. That's what George Santos is reminding me of, is someone that just lies their ass off just to try and make themselves seem better than what they are, which I'm guessing is going to be a running theme for this video.
He'd also apparently go around his office, showing everyone his lovely holiday pictures, like that amazing trip he'd just been on to Dubai. One problem, he wasn't actually in any of the photos, and they were just some random pictures he'd found online and printed out. He'd also tell people that he'd pay for their wedding dresses and other random expenses, free of charge. Shockingly, he never followed through. And after the New York Times sifts through various public documents and court filings, turns out there's a few issues pertaining to his campaign finances. One of these includes a $700,000 loan he'd claimed he'd made to his own campaign, but later on would backtrack, saying any personal loans to the campaign were not from personal funds. If that money turns out to be from someone else, that's a potential felony. Not good. On the trail, he'd also repeatedly claimed he owns a mansion in Oyster Bay Cove, as well as a mansion in the Hamptons.
Okay. I love the fact that they went Minecraft with this. I love this. This is fucking perfect. This is probably the only mansion. This is the epitome. I have a mansion in Minecraft.
However, campaign records show that Santos was actually living in a rented terraced house in Queens, and that he'd never even lived at the address he was currently registered to vote at. Also, he'd claimed on multiple occasions that he was Jewish.
Come from a Jewish family.
Turns out, no. No, he's not.
I always joke.
Yep.
I'm Catholic, but I'm also Jew-ish.
Other claims of his?
So, number one, you. Number two, he's basically pulling a what's her name that claimed she was black. That's what he's doing. That's what he did. I forget whatever the hell her name is. The white woman that claimed she was black. Rachel, yeah. No, not Kamala Harris. No, I'm talking about, this was like 4 or 5 years ago. The woman, I forget what the hell she did. The only thing I know about her is she's a white woman and tan. And so she claimed she was black. No, Revan, I'm not talking about, fuck, I can't, I know who you're talking about. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a woman that actually is white, just tan, but flat out claimed she was black. She literally appropriated being black when she was not in any way, shape, or form. And I think it was this Rachel Dolezal, I think. Yeah, that's what this guy's doing. Yeah, something like that, Andrew. Yeah.
That his mother escaped Tower 2 during 9/11.
My mom was a 9/11 survivor. She was in the South Tower, and she made it out.
And died from ash-related cancer. His mum wasn't even in the country in 2001.
Ah!
Also, that she was the first female executive at a major financial institution. She was a...
Oh, damn, he beat me to it. Yeah, she's a housekeeper. I was gonna say, she probably doesn't even have a formal education in the United States. Peef? I don't know. No, Peef, I don't think it did. It did, no, Peef, it doesn't look like it did. I'm sorry.
A housekeeper at the time. That she was prominent in the Republican Party and a donor spanning 2 decades. She'd never donated to any political party and was never registered to vote in New York. She wasn't even a citizen at the time.
Oh, fuck.
Then there's the lovely wedding.
Thank you, Peef. Thank you.
Wait, with a woman?
Wait.
Then there's the lovely wedding. Wait, with a woman? Santos had been openly gay for a long time and had never disclosed a marriage when signing up to run. Well, turns out that after looking into marriage records, he had one back in 2012, and Santos had left that little detail off of his disclosure forms.
What?
Despite his new wife filing her first divorce request just 1 year later, and then using their marriage to allegedly help gain citizenship.
Fuck. He pulled a green card. Oh, fuck, he pulled a fucking mail order husbando for a green card. Wow. This just gets worse the moment we see, and we're only 9 minutes in. We're 9 minutes into this. Holy fuck.
Everything was above board, and not dodgy at all. In December 2022, he said he'd experienced vandalism, an assassination attempt, the need for a police escort at their house for safety, and a threatening letter. He also claims he had his shoes stolen off his feet in the middle of 5th Avenue. But worst of all, absolutely no volleyball. This was very easily verifiable.
What? Sorry. I fainted at the realization that he lied about volleyball. It was too much for my poor kitty cat heart. I'm sorry, chat.
As Yale, who had claimed to beat in a championship.
We went to play against Harvard, Yale, and we slay them.
Never actually had a men's varsity volleyball team. During the 2022 race, various Republican organizations also caught wind of some of this, and the man was dubbed.
This guy makes the Count of Saint Germain seem credible.
This guy, I have a feeling, has a mental disorder of a path. He's either a pathological liar. He has a mental disorder. 100%. If a psychologist were to get him on a couch, I do not even want to think of how many mental disorders they would come up with for him. Top of the list is probably narcissism. This sounds 100% like a textbook narcissist. Yeah, he he's a narcissist, and he is the poster child for main character syndrome. 100%. He absolutely ascribes to that. Yaha! Beat to it, Revan.
Dubbed George Santos. One Republican says his run wasn't a campaign, more like a beach party. Santos had also claimed he'd helped develop carbon capture technology.
With carbon capture technology that I've helped develop and fundraise for in my career.
The result? Chaos. Santos's lawyer comes out instantly. Gentlemen, these defamatory claims are simply untrue. Our boy Santos is just being smeared by his enemies at the paper, he says. Nonetheless, a multitude of investigations go ahead. These include the local Long Island District Attorney's Office and the New York State Attorney General's Office, who was looking at a number of issues. Joe Cairo comes out. He says these are pretty serious issues, and that Santos should probably address them. That's not what he's doing. In fact, no one even knows where he is at the moment. His phone calls also seem to be bouncing. But after a few days, he decides to pick up the phone. He calls Cairo, and he has an explanation. See, the whole thing was all just one big misunderstanding, he says. Cairo asks about his apparently blatant lies, and Santos has an answer. He had graduated from Baruch. It's just someone there probably just searched under the wrong name, I guess. Probably.
What?
He's going to hold a press conference next week and get this all ironed out. That never happens. He does, however, open Twitter and get to work. But turns out his...
What? I want to see that. Same for Georgia. George Santos represents the kind of progress that the left is so threatened by. A gay Latino first-generation American Republican who won a Pine district is overwhelmingly in overwhelming fashion showed everyday voters that there's a better option than the broken promises and failed policies. 4 years in the public eye, on the verge of being sworn in. New York Times launches the shotgun blast tax and spreads Congressman Lake Santos has enemies at the New York Times. As Winston Churchill famously stated, you have enemies? Good. It means that you've stood up for something. Because, of course, he would use Churchill. Of fucking course. Wow. Hi, Blades. Welcome to the shit show. Have a seat.
But turns out his answers aren't going down well, and calls to resign come flooding in from all directions. He'd tried his best, but Santos wasn't digging himself out of this. And so, the apology tour begins. He talks to Fox News, OAN, the New York Post, and more. And finally comes clean. Listen, lads, I lied. I made mistakes. Humans have faults. I'm not a fraud or fake. Please give me a second chance. He also admits that he embellished his resume, and that he's really sorry about that. It's not...
Damn it, I need to put the South Park meme on my soundboard. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. Chat, make a note. I need to put that on my soundboard.
Now January 2023. New year, new Santos. Honest, clean cut, a straight arrow. He's ready to get to work and represent his people. However, things start out rocky. On the second day of the year, Brazilian authorities have an announcement. They're reviving a decades-old case against Santos.
Oh my god!
They claim that from 2008 to 2011, Santos had actually been living in Brazil with his mother, during which time he'd stolen jewelry from multiple people and forged hundreds of dollars of stolen checks.
Shit.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
He'd then used that to pay for designer clothing, and then dip out from the country. It also turns out that Santos' own lawyer in Brazil at the time wasn't exactly clean either. He'd been charged and sentenced to 18 years in prison for a connection to a gang execution.
Oh shit!
He apparently started studying law while on house arrest. Then, the same week that case is revived, a formal
And that was his fucking lawyer. The one that an 18-year sentence for that was Santos's lawyer in Brazil. Oh my sweet fuck.
complaint begins to be filed in Congress, demanding a House ethics investigation, meaning he's now under local, state, federal, and international investigation, as well as another.
Yes. Fucking based use of the meme right here. Fucking based, big boss. Love it.
As well as a number of calls to resign. This is all before he's even sworn in. But forget about all of that, because it's the special day, and nothing was going to ruin it. In the midst of all the chaos, on the 7th of January 2023, George Santos is sworn into Congress.
Well, yeah, 11, you're absolutely right. The Republican Party will stand behind them because if they don't, they have to admit that they royally fucked up looking into the guy they backed. And you and I and everyone else knows that no politician is ever going to admit that they fucked up. So of course they're backing him 100%. New York, K-Dog. He was in New York. So yeah, I mean, this is not just a black eye for Santos. It is a big fucking black eye for the GOP. Even them dropping him like a hot potato. They never actually looked into him in the first place. High arc.
He could now, finally, serve his district. Protests erupt outside his new office in Long Island immediately, demanding he resigns. There's also a poll that shows that more than 70% of Republicans in his district want him out. Texts and calls to his cell phone are still going unanswered, and he's apparently in hiding. Members of his own team don't even know where he is. He's also dodging swarms of reporters, who are peppered around the halls of Congress, looking for him 24/7. They're even holding stakeouts outside of his office, and it's actually stopping him from turning up. Naturally, the media are out for blood. Every outlet is after him. The New York Times, the Washington Post, Mother Jones, and more information is coming out on him constantly. January 12th, 2023.
Oh god.
Just 5 days after being sworn in, and after lots of deliberation, Joe Cairo has decided not to believe Santos on Baruch searching under the wrong name, and he's now holding a press conference, also calling him to resign.
His immediate resignation.
This comes as a new report also claims.
And you know what? Chat. If the Republicans are calling on one of their own to resign, you know you done fucked up good. Because say what you will, and there are many things that can, have, and will be said regarding the GOP. One thing that I have always given credit for to them is they back up the members of their party in Congress 110%. They will, no matter how bad shit gets, they back their shit, they back their people up 100%. And I will give them credit for that, because the other half, they eat each other, they will eat one another at the drop of a hat. Oh, 11, they don't flip up around. They will devour one another at the first sign of weakness. But the Republicans actually, back one another up. Generally speaking. For the GOP to turn on him and say, you need to quit, that was, you done fucked up. Seriously.
That he, alongside his campaign treasurer, had set up a political campaign organisation where he'd used his political connections to scam tens of thousands of dollars out of other Republicans running. Guilty or not, one thing was absolutely clear here. This man was not resigning. He was serving his people, whether they liked it or not.
Will you resign? I will not. If 142 people ask for me to resign, I'll resign. I will not resign.
What? Really? Wait. I want to hear that again. I want to hear that again. He said it too fast. And yeah, let me hear that.
Will you resign? I will not. If 142 people ask for me to resign, I'll resign. I will.
If 100, I'm not reading the caption because what he said does not match this. It sounded like he said if 142 people.
If 142 people ask for me to resign, I'll resign. I will not.
He literally said if 142 people, not 142,000. If 142 people ask for me to resign, I'll resign. That is what he just said. Ignore the text. Listen to the words that actually came out of his fucking mouth.
Not resign. I will be continuing to hold my office elected by the people.
And so, he continues to act like a congressman. He puts on the suit, and he plays the part well. He talks Iran and gas prices, and attends meetings and votes. He's having fun.
Oh, God. He looks like a scammer right now. This fucker looks like a con man. He literally has the look of a con man right now. If you were to see a con man on the street, this is what he looks like.
If he could just pretend none of this other stuff was happening, then maybe it'll go away. But the first few dominoes had fallen, and more were on their way. It's around the 12th of January that something else comes out. See, there's a drag queen in Brazil, and they've just posted a picture of themselves with another man in drag. This man is George Santos.
Nice, me. Oh.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
I'm not there yet, Alex, but I'm getting close.
So turns out, when Santos was supposedly going to a $60,000 a year Horace Mann school in New York, he was actually a drag queen living in Brazil. And the media runs with it.
At one point performed drag in Brazil.
I've never known him as George Santos.
He says he's very confident Santos is the person to the right of your screen.
Despite the multiple pictures and videos of him as a drag queen, he denies he was a drag queen.
Claiming I'm a drag queen is categorically false.
It is.
It's not though, is it?
It's seemingly confirmed.
Okay. I'm not a big fan of Piers Morgan, but that was a base fucking response right there. Fucking base where he just snaps it right back. No hesitation. No fucking hesitation.
It's not though, is it?
It's seemingly confirmed here in a now deleted 2011 Wikipedia page on him, which he'd seemingly written himself under the name Anthony DeVolder.
Why would someone invent you?
Not only that, turns out, according to this, he'd also appeared on Hannah Montana and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody back in the early 2000s.
What?
He'd also apparently started...
Wait! Oh my god! Yep! Crumpty! It gets better every moment!
Hannah Montana and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody back in the early 2000s. He'd also apparently started this Hollywood career after being scouted by the big producer behind Independence Day, by Steven Spielberg, his first role being in the movie The Invasion.
Wait, Wait. What? So, not only did... Oh my god! Yeah, like, my brain is starting to boil. He created a fake account, Anthony DeVolder. Supposedly, yeah, Santos himself wrote it, but he's using the pseudonym Anthony DeVolder. And, yeah. Correct. Independence Day was Roland Emmerich, not Spielberg. So not only is he lying, he's lying horribly. And thank you, Greg. I am doing my best. I am. Okay. Research chat. Real quick. Was Alicia Silverstone actually in a movie called The Invasion? By the way, misspelled her fucking name. Silverstone is one word, not two words. So he even misspelled Alicia Silverstone's name. Research strays. Quickly. Was Alicia Silverstone in a movie called The Invasion? Because I'm reasonably sure The Invasion was that Alicia Silverstone movie. It was a, well, fuck, what's her name? Used to be married to Tom Cruise. Fuck, what is her name? It was like Daniel Craig and, yes, Kidman, thank you, yes. Daniel Craig and Nicole Kidman was The Invasion, which was a remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Not Alicia Silverstone, whose name doesn't have a space in the last name. Holy fuck. He created a fake background for himself under a fake name, calling himself said fake name, and he got everything in it wrong. This guy cannot even lie properly. He cannot even fucking lie properly. Holy fuck.
In 2009, starring Uma Thurman and Alicia Silverstone. That's not a movie. There was a movie called The Invasion in 2007. However, that features Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig. Independence Day was...
Boom! Called it. Fucking called it.
Never directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
The same week as the Wikipedia page is discovered, a disabled military veteran comes out. He says that Santos scammed him out of $3,000 in 2016, back when he was homeless. Turns out that Santos had set up a charity called Friends of Pets United back in 2013.
Yeah.
Its mission? To rescue, raise money for, and support the well-being of dogs and other pets. This is where he claimed to save over 2,000 dogs. About that, what he'd actually do, allegedly, is drive out to places like rural Pennsylvania, haggle with dog breeders, hand them a bad check, and then take off with the goods. He'd go on to sell these puppies for hundreds apiece via adoption events run by his same charity. He'd also apparently set up fundraising events, organise some drinks, get a barbie going, and then stick a $50 price tag on the ticket, with the proceeds going towards something like an animal shelter. However, when it was time to hand over the money, Santos was gone.
She's almost as bad as PETA. Not quite, because PETA will actually steal people. Like, I was waiting, chat. I was waiting for Big Boss to say that he was actually stealing people's pets off their porches and pretending that he was doing a charity event with them where he was adopting them out to good homes. I was waiting for that. Well, he stole puppies in the fact that he went to breeders, got puppies, and wrote them a bad check. So in that respect, he stole puppies. But PETA was actually stealing puppies from their owners. Like, they were just snatching dogs off of their own front porches and stealing them. So it's not as bad. PETA is still worse than George Santos.
But in 2016, a homeless, disabled military veteran's dog had gotten cancer. He needs a few $1,000s for his dog's life-saving surgery, and the man he's just been recommended to help out? George Santos.
Oh God.
Santos sets up a GoFundMe.
You look amazing.
It makes some waves on Facebook, and eventually raises over $3,000. So Santos sends the veteran to a practice he recommends in Queens. But here, the surgeon he'd recommended tells him his dog's tumour is inoperable. So the veteran tries to claim the money and go to another vet. However, his calls and texts to Santos are now getting no response. And the donations page has been removed from the site entirely. Santos had seemingly taken the money and run.
Wait, I'll let it cook.
Turns out, he'd also been going under the name Anthony Zabrowski. He was eventually...
He stole from a disabled veteran with a sick dog. A sick dog. Motherfucker just hit the public enemy #1 bingo. You don't fuck with veterans, you don't fuck with dogs, and you do not fuck with veterans' sick dogs. Disabled. Home, yeah, wait, sniper, I missed a few there in the bingo card, yeah. Disabled, homeless veteran with a sick with cancer dog. Oh yeah, Santos just hit, as I said, he hit the public enemy #1 bingo.
Charged in Pennsylvania in 2017 for taking off with the unpaid dogs. However, he claimed that his checkbook had simply gone missing. And with that, he's dismissed of all charges.
What? Oh, and thank you, anonymous gifter, for the tier 1. Thank you. Wait. What? Wait. Is there someone in my chat right now with the screen with the username George Santos official? Is there legitimately someone in my chat right now with that screen name? Have they spoken yet? Have they spoken and I just didn't see it? No, that is who an anonymous gifter just gifted a tier 1 sub to. George Santos official, stand up and be recognized, my guy. Come on. Be recognized, man. Stand fucking proud. They're not in the chat list? Okay. I don't know how it happened. I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to laugh about it because that is fucking funny. Yeah, that is the screen name that was just gifted to. An anonymous user gifted a tier 1 sub to George Santos official. All one word. All one word, George Santos official. Was who the gifted sub just got sent to. Maybe. But that is fucking gold right now. Alright, George Santos official, if you're hiding somewhere, let's see what other naughty things you've been up to.
Also, both the IRS and the Attorney General's office in New York and New Jersey have a look through the records, and neither are able to find any evidence that Friends of Pets United ever actually existed at all.
Oh boy.
Around the same time all of this comes out, one of Santos's old roommates in Queens speaks to the press. He claims that when he knew him, he'd gone by the name Anthony DeVolder, and that delusions of grandeur were abundant. with Santos apparently often splashing $100 bills at bars, only to end up broke in just a few days. There are also claims he stole money from an aunt, stole checks from a roommate, stole jewelry from friends, and that $500 Burberry scarf of his, also stolen. Santos maintains that it's his scarf. At this point,
he's worried about the fucking scarf? Oh my god! Now, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something here. Remember how I said at the beginning how his resume sounded too fantastical to be real, so obviously how is this gonna fall apart? I'm gonna say this. Everything that's come after also sounds too fantastical to be real. Like, it is piling up so much. This is actually sounding too fantastical. Should all of this to be coming out like this. It does. Yeah, we've got, like, he lied about his education. He's lied about his business. Several times. Like, he said he would work for, like, was doing billion-dollar deals. He wasn't. He was actually working for this one company, but that company is under investigation for a Ponzi scheme. Yet at the same time, apparently he was instead he was actually working for a call center, and he set up this fund that doesn't have, he's doing this charity thing, but it's not actually a charity. And it's like, I have a very hard time believing all of this is truthful. At this point, it is this is wildly fantastical. And I'm having a very difficult, it's funny as hell to be laughing about, like, okay, and more stacking, and another one, and another one, and another one. It's fun to laugh about it, but I find it really hard to believe all of this is true. Because it is just too wild and fucking crazy. It's all 100% true. Has Bath proven 100% true? Proven. Because former roommate saying X, Y, and Z, and a drag queen back in Brazil saying X, Y, and Z, like, there is some hearsay happening. Wait till you get to the end. Okay, alright, I'll let it cook.
Wealth of Santos stories were out. It was almost too much to keep track of. A steady flow each week, each more preposterous than the last. And on the 22nd of January, Santos lands in New York, so the press pick up their cameras and head out. It's go time, boys. They continue to stake out his office and linger around the halls of Congress, snapping up any chance to ask him a question.
God.
He gets quite annoyed.
I got you guys some donuts. Donuts and coffee for all the hard work you guys do. Thank you so much for being here and doing your job.
But it's clear, the cameras love him. He's also an instant punchline on SNL. All in all, the month of January has been a rough one. In February, he continues to roll with the punches. On the first day of the month, he's forced to step down from every US House committee he's on, basically meaning he can't play a larger role as congressman, and he apologizes again, saying he's deeply sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Fuck.
The same day, the government officially probes his Friends of Pets United charity. A couple days after that, a new audio is leaked to the press. In it, Santos says he lied to everyone.
And I've obviously up and lied to him like I lied to everyone else.
The same day as that,
Like I've lied to everyone else? Ooh. Yeah, that's an actually. Every single time is I'm sorry I got caught. Absolutely.
It comes out that in 2021, Santos had gone around the campaign trail telling potential donors that he was a producer on the musical Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark. This is
What? Oh my god! I mean, if he's actually doing this, again, narcissism, pathological liar, main character syndrome, and God knows how many other syndromes. Yeah, Atamashi, yeah. Basically.
a show that lost investors $60 million, suffered a ton of legal battles and technical proof that he was a producer on the musical Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark. This is a show that lost investors $60 million, suffered a ton of legal battles and technical problems, and resulted in multiple actors seriously injured.
And I'm pretty sure, not only seriously injured, one of the actors from that performance died. The rigging was not done properly for Spider-Man: Turn Off the Dark, and one of the actors, one of the performers in it actually died when the rigging collapsed and the actor plunged like a dozen feet or something and died on stage during a performance, I believe. Yeah, that was actually a thing. Hang on. I need to, hang on. Okay, almost. Okay, no, I'm sorry, almost. Yeah, okay, it was the injuries that I heard that I thought he did. No, okay, so it was Chris Tierney, an actor who played Spider-Man in the musical Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, almost died during a performance when he fell 20 to 30 feet while performing an aerial stunt, suffered multiple broken ribs and vertebrae, as well as fractures in his skull, scapula, and elbow. So almost, I was incorrect, I was wrong, he almost died, but suffered traumatic injury.
And 2 days after that, a sexual harassment complaint is submitted by a former aide. Santos denies the allegation.
I did not.
Cheer 100. I just woke up like half an hour ago and thought I was having a fever dream listening to these. At this point I'm just waiting to see where these train wreck goes next. Cheer 100.
McKenna? Me too. Again, I am at the point where I'm taking some of it with a grain of salt because it's all wildly fantastical, but I do want to see where it goes next. But chat.
Complaint is submitted by a former aide. Santos denies the allegation.
I did not.
This is the perfect fucking meme for Santos in this situation. This is the absolutely perfect fucking meme. A meme does not fit a man more perfectly than this. Hell yes.
Not.
Calling it comical. Right. Enough is enough. Lads, this guy's gotta go. And they filed to expel the man from Congress. February, not off to a great start either then. The expulsion filing doesn't get very...
Yeah, Resin, that is a YouTube thing. They color graded the progress bar. So closer to the front is looking more pink and then it darkens to red as you go far. That is a YouTube thing. Your eyes are not tricking you. It is there.
Far. But in March, the House Ethics Committee stages a vote to investigate Santos. This, over the multiple allegations that he'd engaged in unlawful activity during his campaign, failed to disclose required information on house forms, violated federal conflict of interest laws, and engaged in sexual misconduct. And there's a lot on the man's plate right now. The vote to investigate further is unanimous. Since things are going so well, in April, Santos decides it's time to make an announcement. Lads, I'm running again. And his election campaign for 2024 is officially declared. But on the 10th of May, Santos gets a knock on the door. Turns out, it's the feds, and he's now under arrest. He's slapped
again. Perfect meme. Absolute perfect meme for this situation, I must say.
He's slapped with 13 federal charges, including 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, 1 count of theft of public funds, and 2 counts of lying to the House of Representatives. See, during COVID, George Santos had claimed some pandemic unemployment money, about $24,000 worth. One problem, he had a job and was on a $120k salary. Santos had also just sponsored a bill to claw back fraudulent COVID handouts, meaning he'd just endorsed a bill targeting himself. Then there's his campaign funds.
Well, guarantee you, he did that because he thought he was protected in Congress. That was fucking hubris on his part. That wasn't stupidity. That was hubris. The fact that, you know, that he thought, I'm a United States Senator, this isn't going to come back to bite me, I'm protected. Even though the entire party wants him out, and he is universally hated, he still thought that he would have been protected. So, that's not stupidity, that's just absolute fucking hubris.
Turns out, he'd used a ton of them to buy that designer wardrobe of his, and pay for credit card bills. A lot of this came from 2 big donors, who he'd managed to persuade to max out contributions for both campaigns, sending $200,000 each. And finally, Santos is charged for defrauding donors through his political campaign organizations. More on those. So at this point, it was fairly established. Campaign finance regulators were a joke, especially with the help of an experienced campaign treasurer. For context, a campaign treasurer gives the green light on all payments, keeps records of all receipts, and files all reports and statements. So they're quite important and very involved.
Okay.
And he's got himself a veteran, a woman.
Hey! Big boss! Do not disrespect Hugh Jackman, aka Wolverine, like this by putting Santos on his forehead. I disapprove. I very much disapprove of this. This is my upset face. Do not disrespect my Hugh.
A woman named Nancy Marks, and as it turns out, this campaign treasurer has a bit of a reputation. She'd done this for multiple campaigns and other clients, and word on the street is, she likes to secretly bill herself thousands of dollars at random while doing it. She'd even been sued for this at one point, however, she won the suit. Anyway, in May 2021, Santos goes into business with her to form a political consulting firm in Florida called Red Strategies. Here, Santos apparently uses his new friends in politics to shill Red Strategies' fundraising and advertising services to other Republican candidates running in New York, all the while secretly not disclosing his own involvement. That involvement being running the company. Once signed up, they'd charge them
Wait. Did it say that's out of It's out of Florida. That's probably okay. And he probably thought because Florida is one of the reddest fucking states in the union, he probably thought he would be protected. Guaranteed. Because of the he chose that location because he thought for sure his status as a Republican senator, they would protect him. Again, just like the thing with the COVID bill. He's erroneously thinking that his status as a senator carries a lot more weight than it actually does.
Being running the company. Once signed up, they'd charge them massive fees for apparently very subpar efforts.
And it's gone.
And then profit. And turns out, a lot of that profit is going directly into Santos' pockets. Santos would go on to ditch Marks, apparently telling her the brain cancer was back, and that he'd have to go radio silent for a while. He then forms Redstone Strategies in 2022 with an old friend from Harbour City. And after its opened shop, Santos' donors start to receive calls. Redstone Strategies had just raised 800k for Santos' campaign, and are now asking for around 700k more. The guy on the other end tells them. Originally, these calls are from a representative of the company, but eventually, it's apparently just Santos himself. And that would be a bit illegal. Marks has since pleaded guilty to 1 felony count of conspiracy to defraud the United States, and to falsifying and inflating financial numbers with Santos' help. She faces 3 to 4 years in prison. Santos then graduates to Devolder Company. Here, instead of trying to sell an alleged Ponzi scheme to well-off people like he was doing at Harbour City, he has a brilliant idea. Just introduce them to other well-off people, and take a fee for whatever changes hands. And what better time to do this, just as he was entering.
Fucking Gumby Walk. Hi, Reaptor. Again, the fucking Gumby Walk. And that latest scheme, it sounds like he's basically asking for finder's fees. With introducing people like that, that sounds like a finder's fee thing, which, must we get some extrapolation here, doesn't sound too illegal. Like getting a finder's fee for introducing a donor to someone to back, I don't think that's illegal to do, but I'm not sure. Oh, ads? Okay, I will wait. We will wait to continue. But did you notice he changed it to Devolder? That fake fucking name he's been using everywhere? Yeah, oh, absolutely shady and sketchy, but I don't believe illegal. From a legal standpoint, he might be okay. And that is what it is. But he's using Devolder again, which was his fake name for everything. And yeah, now the question is, how is this going to get worse? Because it is going to get worse. Make no mistake, chat. This will get worse.
How is this man smart enough to make this campaign scheme but too stupid to realize that all his accolades are easily discoverable, and failed to realize that his real position in society could have endeared him to the common people and could have made him that much greater? I swear only jerk-offs like him run for office.
Oh, Raven, the voice actually ramped up there at the end very nicely. Simple answer? He didn't actually, he ran for office not because he wanted to govern. He ran for office like for the reason that so many other people run for office, because he wanted to make money. He wanted to use the position to enrich himself, which is what he's been doing. That's why. And he just, by promoting himself the way he did, by creating this 100% fabricated background, he'd be more inclined to get wealthy donors to give him fuck tons of money that he could then illegally pull from his campaign to enrich himself. So it was all a money scheme. The problem is he wasn't smart enough to build himself a cover story that could hold up to even the most basic of scrutiny. And and he keeps going. Like, I don't know if maybe he just thought, like, I have no choice, I have to keep going. That could be, He fell back to a corner and thought, I just have to keep lying. I can't stop. Whatever his fucking reason, this is all stemming from money. Yes, sure. The senator. Yes. That is who we are discussing. But that's all, it's all about money. 100%. From the very beginning, it was all about enriching himself. And, well, we're seeing the results. Maybe it was the house. Maybe it was the house. You're probably right. Probably was the house. Yeah, cause his thing was 117. So yeah, that would be Congressman. Okay. Yeah, it was Congress. Rap Acid, I'm waiting for this to turn into a fucking Kaiser Sose ending. That would be the icing on the cake. If the ending to this video turned into the fucking Usual Suspects.
Entering politics. He could be proposing these deals to a whole new class of wealth and power. Using this company, Santos is allegedly able to negotiate the sale of a massive yacht. It has an infinity pool, a waterfall, and is worth around $19 million. Meaning Santos potentially raked in hundreds of thousands of dollars here. And this was just before the election in 2022. He claims that this is his family firm and handles $80 million in assets. Anyway, Santos's family
the family firm that was getting eviction notices from their house back in Brazil, that family firm? The one that doesn't exist?
Comes together to pay off his $500k bond for the charges, and on the condition he surrenders his passport, he's free to go. He and his lawyer go on to shoot down each and every single charge. It's a witch hunt, Santos says.
It's a witch hunt.
Fuck's sake, I hated that. For the last fucking, like 6 years, I fucking hated that. Where that word, again, another word that lost all meaning because it was so fucking overused. Every time that, it's one of the reasons why I stopped watching news, because they kept repeating the shit over and over and over and over and over again. So, witch hunt is another word that used to have actual meaning behind it that would make people sit up and take notice, has now lost its meaning, like so many others in the last 10 years.
It makes no sense.
He pleads not guilty.
Yeah, I saw the
and
smile.
Still refuses to resign.
Remember, a king strives for the love and health of his people. He creates policies that make a strong economy and society for his people. A tyrant, on the other hand, strives to steal from his people to consolidate power. He does not care about crushing the people. This applies to queens as well.
Lades, and a con man pretends to be one or the other in order to personally enrich himself while not giving a shit about the power and not giving a shit about the people. I'd say Santos is option number 3.
Following all of these charges, another vote to expel Santos kicks off. However, this fails to pass and is instead handed over to the House.
Sorry, I missed that.
Following all of these charges, another vote to expel Santos kicks off. However, this fails to pass and is instead handed over to the House Ethics Committee to investigate. At this point,
and again, this is what I was pointing out earlier, where it failed. It failed. Like, there's all of this, and an effort to oust him from the party failed. They're still backing him up. And that was talking about earlier, where they will defend each other like fucking crazy. Well, they tried to kick him out, Revan. Tried. And even that attempt failed. because enough people said, no, let him cook. Let him cook.
At this point, Republican congressmen are getting very agitated.
Like I said, if I could understand you over my colleagues screaming here, the reality is
Here's the thing though, he's not going anywhere, because Republicans need him to maintain their razor-thin House majority, which they hold by just 4 seats.
Ooh, that's kind of small.
So Santos is safe for now. So in June, it's time to kick back.
And therein lies the hubris of the modern-day United States government. They will keep a beyond overtly corrupt and fake member of their party just to maintain power. That's why they didn't boot him, because they want to keep that sweet, sweet majority in Congress. That one of the many reasons why I fucking hate politics. Exactly. They are so fucking power hungry that they will do everything possible to keep a obscenely corrupt person that is fucking them 6 ways to Sunday so they can maintain their power.
So Santos is safe for now. So in June, it's time to kick back. Santos attends a congressional baseball game where he's mobbed by fans.
He could literally win the presidential race right now.
It's now
What? How much did he pay this guy to do this? How much did he pay this guy to say this? 100%. I'm thinking this is a paid actor. This guy was probably sitting next to him at a ball game, and yeah, Paint Brain probably paid him, said, dude, I'll give you $100 if you say this into the camera. The guy went, sure, I don't care. He's wearing sunglasses and a hat. How many people are going to recognize him?
It's now August, and an aide of Santos has just been charged with identity theft. He allegedly impersonated the current Speaker of the House, Kevin.
What? He did. What? Wait. The fundraiser, Samuel Me. What? Oh my fucking. How was. Oh my god. Okay.
McCarthy's chief of staff while fundraising. Nonetheless, the Speaker of the House's support for Santos remains strong. It's around this point that Santos also misses his financial filings deadline, which he'd already received a 90-day extension for. October 10th. And it's the feds again. They're back with 10 more charges. This time it's conspiracy, false statements, falsification of records, aggravated identity theft, credit card fraud, and then some more wire fraud. And with the second tranche of charges, another scheme of his comes to light. See, back when Santos was running, he'd had an idea. This one was simple. Note down the identity and financial information of his campaign donors, which they'd already given when contributing, then repeatedly charge their credit cards without them knowing. Profit. These would go into his campaign, other campaigns, and again, directly into his own pocket.
Fucking. This is insane. This is absolutely batshit fucking insane. Like, how? I already know the answer. They want to keep their power. But, is there, like, I was gonna ask, because this should be obvious, is there not a law when it comes to someone in Congress, in the Senate or the House, where if you are under federal indictment, no, it wouldn't be, no, never mind. I answered my own question in my head. No, that doesn't make any sense. Never mind. There wouldn't be because of law of is until proven guilty, so he wouldn't be capable of being removed for it. So never mind. I answered my own question. My question is, why is it taking so fucking long to actually get him in front of a judge on these? Like, we are seeing charges upon charges upon charges stacked for years. For years, we're seeing these charges stacking up. How have none of these made it in front of a judge yet? Okay, Spectre, have a good night. Yeah, well, Prinny, I'm kind of there with you, honestly. And Blades? Simple answer, most of them. If you were to deep dive Congress as a whole, 80 to 90% of them would be dirty like this. Who's found at hidden gold bars around his house, given to by oligarchs from Turkey. Yeah, Andrew, I think I vaguely remember hearing about that. I'm pretty sure I heard about that. Yeah, it's... Because the minute he gets a guilty verdict on any of these charges, he's done. On that part, I'm reasonably certain you cannot serve as a congressman in either Senate or House if you are a convicted felon. I'm reasonably sure that is still law, so if he gets convicted, that would instantly out him. So why has he not been put in front of a judge? In the years they've been stacking cases. He is not going in front of a judge for any hearing, trial, or sentencing in all the years they've been stacking fucking cases. I would think the court system would want to fucking move on this.
In another scheme, Santos and his campaign treasurer apparently filed reports with overinflated donations on them. This could then be used to acquire financial support from the Republican Party, which it was. More profit. Again, he pleads not guilty to every charge, and the thought of resigning doesn't even cross his mind. This, along with the Speaker of the House and Santos' ally Kevin McCarthy being given the boot on the 3rd of October, and Santos is now...
Oh! Wait, McCarthy was out on the 3rd? Okay, cool. I don't even want to think about who replaced him. Sad fit. You mean in the video incognito? Oh boy. Alright. Wait. Constitution was convicted felon to be a member of Congress, even if in prison. It's up to the Senate and House to decide who may serve as for state offices different. Oh my sweet fuck. Have I mentioned lately how much I hate politics and how the current United States governmental system is set up? And how I've said many times, it needs to be rebuilt from the fucking ground up. I will say it again. Just in that way, I'm not going to repeat all of it.
Considerably less safe.
I'm in danger!
And it's getting to him. Santos starts to crack, become unstable.
It's unacceptable! They should not be allowed in here! He's an animal!
Things are not looking good, so Santos brainstorms. He needs to look good. Win back the court of public opinion. That's it. A baby. And Santos starts walking the halls of Congress with a random baby in his hands.
Do not report this baby.
Whose was it? Where did it come from?
What?
No one knows. But when asked, he
Did he kidnap a child? Seriously. He has no children. If I saw him knowing he does not have a child, strolling with some random baby, I would be calling the police and saying, this person has some random baby. He will not say whose baby it is, and he does not have a child. I would be calling the fucking police. Because he may have just stolen someone's fucking kid. He may have literally kidnapped.
He says this.
You said, not yet.
As in a reference to, I'm not a parent. I'm not there yet.
The 1st of November, 2023, and it's time for another vote to oust Santos. The House needs a supermajority vote of 2/3 to do it, so it could really go either way here. And Santos braces for the worst. However, the vote goes down, and turns out he'd survived. Easily, in fact. 179 yes to 239 no. Looks like our bill is bulletproof.
239 people in the fucking house said, nah, I'll be fine. 'Cause, unless I'm mistaken, that wasn't all Republicans. Reasonably sure that there's more than 239 Republicans in the House. Some of those were fucking Democrats, I think. Yeah. Well, and Andrea? That's a problem for me.
To your point, Ember, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form, as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Declaration of Independence.
Yeah. But it's not going to happen, and we are at a stage in society where to do so would tear the country apart. That's the unfortunate side effect. Is at this stage in the country, with populace and the way things are set up, if that were to happen, it would literally tear the country apart. And the country would become like city-states, or the country would be split into separate countries at this point. Because everything is so deeply entrenched. You can't do it anymore. That's the problem. It would be Xanax, yeah, it would be civil war on a scale that is not simply two sides. This would be civil war with about 15 different sides. That's why I say it would tear the country apart. 100%. We are too deeply entrenched that it will not work. Hands down, it will not work. And as far as to the point of the Democrats wanting to keep him in to use him as a weapon, don't fucking buy it. Because, well, no, sorry, let me rephrase. I do buy it. But that's the problem. This is the problem with modern government. Modern government is all about one side owning the other side and not about governing. Flat out. They do not fucking care about governing. It's all just about showing up the other side. And the entire populace suffers because of it. That's why I fucking hate politics.
He'd made it. He won. But wait, on the 16th of November, the House Ethics Committee is back. They'd spent the last few months scouring through records and conducting interviews, and now their investigation was over, and their findings handed in. 170,000 pages of documents, witness testimonies, and financial statements. And the verdict was in. Something's a bit dodgy here. The revelations are numerous. He'd spent $11,000 on hotels, $42,000 on flights. This includes flights to random places like Kansas and Memphis. More than 10 trips to the high-end Manhasset shopping center. $300 on an internet viral steakhouse. And countless expenditures at an Italian restaurant in Queens.
Again, the meme fits. The meme fits perfectly. Hate to tell you, Nick, but back during this stage of your life, you kinda look like George Santos. Hate to tell you. You don't anymore. You thin down and you look good now, but back then?
More about that restaurant. See, Santos likes this place a lot. So much so that he'd spent tens of thousands of dollars here.
Jesus!
He'd also claimed to be friends with the family running it. The owner's brother even contributed to his campaign. It would also turn out that this same man was caught in 2019 steering a 63-foot yacht from the Bahamas towards Florida in an attempt to smuggle 14 undocumented Chinese migrants and a Bahamian man into the US. More than $200,000 worth of currency was also found, stuffed into the bedroom walls. All above board. Something of interest also to note, a ton of expenditures here were exactly $199.99. Here's the thing, if he'd spent just 2 pennies more, he would have had to keep some form of documentation like
Big Boss got in. I knew that's what was going to happen, is when you hit the certain dollar amount, that's when you have to record it. Hi, Cobra.
The restaurant is also apparently donating thousands of dollars to his campaign. So in essence, he's giving the restaurant money via undisclosed food he's buying through his campaign, and that same money is going back to the campaign. He'd end up using this $199 trick dozens of times. In fact, he ends up with more of these expenses than any other candidate in the entire United States, including at places that would be very difficult to even spend that amount, like a car park where it was impossible to spend this exact amount of money. Santos also used campaign funds on lip fillers, Botox, rent, holidays, makeup, weight loss drugs, casino trips, around $250,000 of cash withdrawals, even OnlyFans. Also, his design.
What? I want to know who Santos was jerking it to on OF. He was jerking it to someone. Who was it? Well, he claims to be gay. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe it was Finster. I don't know. You know, Finster fits in that perfect demographic with him being a former drag, with Santos being a former drag queen. Yeah, Finster fits in that category. Like, perfect. The really hot femboy.
Also, his designer clothes. Compliments of the campaign too, of course. This includes the Ferragamo.
Sniper bait, you did not know that? Yes, Finn has done OF. Finn calls it a battle pass, but yes, Finn has done OF for a year or two now at least. Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Loafers at around $700. The Cartier tank watch at around $10,000. The Burberry quilted jacket around $1,400. Louis Vuitton ties around $200. And his Ray-Bans also around $200. To illustrate just how brazen these violations are, another US politician apparently had a go at his staff for ordering some fruit to their hotel door using campaign funds. Then there's Santos, who was practically living in an Hermes store. All in all, he'd apparently spent just around a third of his campaign budget on advertising. This is apparently far less than normal. Naturally, he denies a lot.
Wait, hang on.
All in all, he'd apparently spent just around a third of his campaign budget on advertising. This is apparently far less than normal. Naturally,
No shit, it's far less than normal. The whole purpose of campaign funds is that, like, 3/4 of it is supposed to be spent on advertising. That is the purpose of campaign funds, is to do that. Yeah, rappers? Me too. Me too.
naturally, he denies a lot of this.
Is it true that you have an OnlyFans page and you can peel a banana with your feet?
I don't have one, and it's, you know, I'll indulge you this. I just discovered what OnlyFans was about 3 weeks ago when it was bought.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie. And I thought I actually had that on my soundboard, but I am incorrect. Yeah. 100% a lie.
Brought up in a discussion in my office.
What do you think?
And I was oblivious to the whole concept.
The filings themselves, also incredibly dodgy. They included multiple revisions, unaccounted costs.
No, K-Dog, he was watching OF stuff. The accusation was he had an OF page, but where the whole thing about with him watching it is he was saying, oh, I had no idea what OF was until 3 weeks ago, when for months before he'd been using campaign funds to pay to view other OF content. Not that he was a content creator for it. No, I cannot, Bobcat. You pedophile.
Contributions, unitemized payments totaling hundreds of thousands of dollars, and hundreds of those $199
I saw, Andrea. I saw that.
to Anonymous, who was then removed in later filings. All of this compounded with 2 of his campaign staff now pleading guilty for various crimes. And yeah, not great. So Santos comes out with an announcement. Lads,
oh God,
probably not running in 2024. Sorry. Then, on the 18th of November 2023, he looks like this.
What?
Towards the end of the month.
Wait, is that O'Neill? What's up with the weird feet fetish? I don't know, but I guess I have to contribute. Here we go. I'm contributing. There you go. Here's the feet. Look, chat. Feet. Boy, he got
Towards the
that.
end of the month, it's clear. Another expulsion vote was looming. And this time, it could be a lot closer. So on the 29th of November, Santos gives it his all in a House speech. While he makes his case, people fly this balloon outside the Capitol. On the 30th, Santos says he'll be holding a press conference outside the Capitol the next day. And this time, he actually does hold one. Having made his case inside and outside the Capitol, all Santos could now do was pray. December the 2nd, 2023, and Congress members are pulling up to the office for work. Today's agenda, Santos. Now, again, to get this man out, the House would have to vote yes to the tune of a 2/3 supermajority. So this could actually go either way, even with the recent revelations. But regardless, the vote...
They're gonna keep him. This is my suspicion. They're gonna keep him so they can keep their majority in Congress, in the House, and they're gonna tell him, well, if they're gonna tell him, even though he's already announced not running in 2024, they're gonna tell him, you're really not running in 2024. Like, we will keep you here, but you're done. After this term, you are done. I think they're gonna keep him.
Votes start coming in, and eventually, the results are in. Santos is out. He's booted out his office, loses his seat in the House, and banished from the Capitol, becoming the 6th House Congressman in history to be expelled.
Oh!
And the first in over...
I mean, this shows you how much I avoid the fucking news because I had no idea about this. I know, like, I had no idea about any of this. Yeah.
Becoming the sixth.
Finally gone. Wow. It's not, yeah, we still have about a minute and a half.
Do it! Just do it!
And they finally did.
House congressman in history to be expelled, and the first in over 2 decades. He makes a hasty escape. In a politically divided America, Democrats and Republicans managed to come together for one thing: their utter disdain.
No. No, they didn't. Let us not mince words here. They did not come together because how many times did it take before they finally voted him out? Let's not Cinderella story this bullshit. They did not come together. They finally realized that Republicans realized he offers us no benefit. Democrats realized he offers us no benefit, and they finally got rid of him. Both sides finally came to the conclusion he's more trouble than he's worth. Do not even pretend like this is some altruistic act on both sides of cooperation. It is not. This is serving themselves, and it just so happened to work together.
Of this man. But within a couple of days of expulsion, a new account appears on Cameo. It's Santos, and he's now singing Taylor Swift and roasting people online for money.
I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
And he's popular. In fact, his $75 asking price is quickly kicked up to $400 a piece.
What the fuck?
It doesn't take long for him to start earning 6 figures, and eventually more money than his congressional salary. In February 2024, a special election is held to replace Santos. At the time, a massive blizzard hits Long Island,
my
with
God.
areas getting up to 8 inches of snow. But regardless,
Revan? Morons. Simple as that.
tens of thousands show up to vote. And on the 13th of February, Tom Swazi wins back his seat, and this short, bizarre chapter of US politics meets its end. Or does it? Yes, it does.
What? Okay. Thanks fucking God. No. Holy shit. Chat. That was a fucking... Yes, Grumpy.
People seem to forget that both sides of government are on the same side. The only other side are the people, and they are too dumb divided amongst themselves over things that don't matter, while the government sits laughing at our stupidity in their ivory towers.
Yeah. Fair point. And yeah, Grumpy, when you said that, that was literally, I was in the process of saying that when you said that was a roller coaster.